start the ones to watch section, talk about Hannah and Orally, blah blah blah, and then I'll literally go, I'm up here now with the commentary team of Alan Max Pro Noble. What are you guys looking forward to in this session? So the run through events is literally just what's coming. Drew's taking the main picture from up there. I think what... And he's not going to.
Some of that we can swap places, but you want to see the crowd, don't you?
Better than a black...
Yeah, if you went in there...
How does it look behind me though?
Nah. You prefer that?
Good morning.
You lean right in.
Lean right in.
Yeah.
So I'm literally like...
Swimmers, coaches, team managers, please be advised there are just 5 minutes of this warm-up session remaining. Just 5 minutes of this warm-up session remaining.
I'm joined now.
You got him to come this way a bit as well?
Yeah.
It's not a still pull, you get your end off my arse now, alright?
There you go. Okay.
It's a puppy!
So that's our position.
Okay.
Good sound.
So you're going to do a piece down there first, and then
run up. Get you pumped in the morning.
Sorry, can I just squeeze
Sorry.
past you?
Sorry. I'm just having a little dance. Record. And sorry, I just squeezed past. Good morning. I'm not bad, not bad. Would I be correct if I were to refer to this meet as a process meet in terms of your athlete and coach education? Because when I was chatting with Kieran yesterday, he was saying how they have a lot of process. So obviously the language is kind of out there, but just wanted to clear it with you.
No, it's not really.
So it's more just that athlete and coach education is the British para swimming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are you going to listen to me today?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're trying.
What we're essentially trying to do and what we're about is we're trying to get the athletes to take more responsibility and ownership for their careers.
Okay.
The swimmers tend to, as you're probably aware, jump in the water, read what's on the whiteboard and go up and down without really understanding
Yeah.
how it's going to help them on race day.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get them to understand, right, I need to swim this fast and
Okay, so can I talk about process goals and key skills? Yeah. Okay.
Swimmers, coaches, team managers, please be advised this pool is now closed for the warm-up session. Please assist us in clearing the pool in a timely fashion so we may start the competition on time. The warm-up pool is now closed.
GB? Couple minutes till
Lane 5. Lane 6. Lane 7. 1, 2, lane 7. Lane 7. Come in, number 7. 1, 1, 10. One, one, two. One, one, two.
Pardon? Thank you. Crystal, thank you. It's me now. That way, so you don't get crowd and a bit of the pool. Yeah, that's great, guys. To Paul.
Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce your host for the British Para Swimming International Meet 2015, the wonderful Jodie Laresh.
Thanks very much, Alan. Good morning, everybody, and a very warm welcome to the Day 2 heats of the British Para Swimming International Meet 2015. We have had a fantastic meet so far. We saw 10 British records go yesterday and 1 world record. But first, let's just take the time to say thank you to Glasgow Life for helping support us to put on such a fantastic event in such an amazing venue. Tollcross, of course, played host to the Commonwealth Games last summer, and many of our swimmers here this week will be looking to gain those all-important qualification times for the IPC Swimming World Championships here in this venue this very summer. Now, the British Paraswimming guys have really ramped it up this year, so it will be tough for our swimmers to qualify, but we have already seen some of our guys go underneath those elusive A-standard qualification times. Now, athlete and coach education is at the forefront of British paraswimming at the moment, with coaches really looking for their swimmers to take ownership and responsibility for their own careers. So this meet right here will be a process goal meet where they'll be looking to focus on key skills and take that learning and development through into the next 12 months, right through to the Paralympic Games in Rio. Now, as I say, we've got an exciting morning to come, so this is where it's your chance to show your support. Get on social media, get on Twitter with hashtag BPSIM15. Our lovely commentary team read out the best tweets from you guys during the session, so send us in your tweets and we'll read them out. I'll throw now to Alan March and Paul Noble, who'll take us through a run-through of the events this morning.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of Tollcross. Get a chance to wave to you again this morning. You all listening? Yeah, there you are. A few, well, 7 of you are listening. There we go, that's better. Good morning, welcome to Day 2. I think I got up to about 28 of you. We're waving in the end, that's good. We've got all sorts of flags going on across the front, it's brilliant. We've got 50-metre freestyle action to kick off your morning, both the men and the women taking part in those, of course. We've got women's at 200 IM, followed by the men's event as well. And we've also got some 150 IM races to come. As Jodie was saying, make sure you send us your tweets. Very quickly introduce the young man, I'm going to call him the young man that sat next to me in the commentary position. First time this one gets to say, morning Paul Noble.
The young man, I like that.
Yeah, you like that. Have
yeah.
you stolen any Danishes from the breakfast bar? That's what I need to know.
Yes, I have. I'll be breaking into them just as we're starting the 200 IMs a little bit later on.
You're such a professional. How do you eat and talk at the same time? I've absolutely no idea. Lots of stuff coming up this morning and lots of really big names, and we were really impressed with some of the swims yesterday. Lots of records tumbling. For you, was that a good first day?
It was an excellent first day, actually. We started off pretty well. The breaststroke events especially were very good yesterday. We saw a few qualifiers for that GB team, made it under those qualifying standards. Scott Quinn was very impressive. The man from Scotland, just along the road in Edinburgh, set a British record there. And of course, what can you say about Bethany Firth? She has rewritten the record books in that 100 breaststroke. Over a second better than the world record time. Absolutely excellent performances. And then at night, of course, Hannah Russell as well did very well in the freestyle event. So that was a very good performance for Hannah Russell. She'll be going again today in a couple of her very favourite events. So we'll watch out for Hannah Russell this morning.
Keep the tweets coming. Phil Smith says, great commentary yesterday, gents, especially as you read out all of my tweets. It's not intentional to read one person's all of their tweets. However, if you send good tweets, we deserve an Easter egg, apparently. Let's see if that arrives.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a rare moment where we actually get to see the faces of our elusive commentary team of Alan March and Paul Noble. These guys were saying we had a fantastic day of action yesterday. Hannah Russell and Aurélie Rivard will be up again today in the 50 metres freestyle. They battled it out yesterday for the title in the 100 metres. Also, Ben Huo, who I interviewed yesterday, he was up in the crowd supporting. He will be back in the pool today for the 200 metres individual medley. Now, Alan, I'll come to you first. What are you looking forward to most this session?
I always turn up with exactly the same mindset. I just think some of the levels of performances that are put in at these events are just tremendous, and that's what I'm here for. I wasn't a naturally gifted swimmer as a kid, and I never competed professionally at any level of any sport. Swimming, I've absolutely taken to as a commentator, and I I can't wait to get here for every event. I hope to God I'm here in Glasgow in July as well for the Worlds. It was great at being at the Europeans last year, so it's fantastic just to see the absolute wonderful levels of swimming. And these guys out here, by the way, who don't get enough credit, all these people who follow their swimmers, their daughters, their sons, their family members, applause to you guys. Yeah, you guys out there, they make these meets as well as we do behind the microphones.
And Paul, what do you think your highlight this morning is going to be?
Well, I swam the 200. You mentioned Ben Hewell from Canada, still going strong, an experienced man. I actually swam against him many years ago, more than I would care to remember. I'm looking for more records, I think. I think we might have some today. 10 British records yesterday, 1 world record. I think we're going to have some more today. So I'm looking forward to saying subject to ratification many times and calling more of those records. Should be a good session.
We're going to hear now from the IPC-VT. I'm joined now by Project Manager for the IPC Swimming World Championships 2015, Natasha Cuthbert. Tash, just tell us a little bit about the event.
Sure. Well, this summer we're welcoming the IPC Swimming World Championships to Glasgow. It's the first time it's being held in Glasgow, and we're looking forward to welcoming over 650 athletes to the venue from over 65 different nations.
And it is great that it's coming to Glasgow this year. It's such a fantastic venue.
Yeah, we've hosted a number of competitions here now in Tollcross, and it is proved to be a world-class facility, from our British Championships to the really successful Duel in the Pool, and then obviously the Commonwealth Games that was last summer.
And this gives us the perfect opportunity to introduce our exclusive debut of our mascot for the IPC Swimming World Championships, Tolly the Highland Cow. That's it, give us a whirl, Tolly. So Tash, just tell us the thinking behind Tolly the Cow.
Well, a Highland cow is a really friendly and welcoming animal, and we just felt that Tolly would be the right kind of fit for this championships.
And finally, how can people get involved and come and see the event?
Okay, so tickets are available now on Ticketmaster. So if you go to www.ticketmaster.co.uk/Glasgow 2015, you can purchase all your tickets there.
So that's it. Buy your tickets now for the hottest event of the summer.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to poolside your referees and their team of technical officials. Your referees for this session are Dave Harmon and David Metcalf. Starters for this session, Martin Noble and Kevin Patterson. Officials, you may be seated. So once again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just do a bit of a crowd warm-up session. Everybody in the crowd, wave at least an arm for me. 2 arms. There we are. That means we know you're all listening. That's great. Alongside me is Paul Noble throughout all of the action. And don't forget, yesterday you were great. What we want again today, every swimmer that gets in, please show them all the respect they deserve. Cheer them along. And yeah, look out on the big screen now. Look, there you go. Beautiful people of Tollcross, there you are. Well, 88% of you anyway, there you are. All the beautiful people of Tollcross. Have we got any dancers? I know it's early. Have we got any dancers in the crowd? People behind the Isle of Man flag. That's the hand on chin dance. There we go, that's it. Oh, look at that, double hands in the air. Getting a bit more excited. Clearly too much caffeine going on in the Isle of Man this morning. Loads and loads of world-class swimmers. The swimmers are loving the music. Look at this. Don't let your towel drop, you've not got your trunks on. Away you go.
First event this morning, the women's multi-classification 50 metres freestyle. We have Pinju Jip from Singapore in 3, Georgia Howell from Littlehampton in 4, Valeria Konkova from Russia in 5, and Veronika Jurenko from Israel in lane number 6.
Yeah, we saw Gurenko having to swim on her own in the final event yesterday evening, so good to have people around her to try and push her on to better times here. But 3 different classifications, and Georgia Howell of Littlehampton in the S6 category. Into the final 5 metres she goes. The blue cap there in lane 4. Entry time for Howell of 54.52. Oh, well inside that. 50.60. 324 points for Georgia Howell here on day 2. And lane 3, Pinju Yip, Singapore, will come home in a time of 104.25. The first of the 2 S3 category swimmers. Valeria Konkova of Russia is an S4 swimmer. And Gurenko of Israel in lane 6. We've got 10 of these heats in this women's 50 metres freestyle. Into the final 5. And show these 2 ladies some encouragement as they come to the end of their first swim of the day. Gurenko touches in 140.88, and Konkova will finish just behind that, taking the touch now. I'll give you the official time in just a moment.
Nice improvement there on the entry time, so on Georgia Howell, 50.60. And as we see the scores, the times there on your scoreboard, the highest points total, 377 points for Pinju Jip from Singapore.
So the women's multi-classification 50 metres freestyle event 201, heat number 2.
Well, just waiting for the official result to come through there for that first heat. And remember, get your tweets coming in. Keep that hashtag BIPSIM15. The results are confirmed for that first heat, so we can now move on to heat number 2.
Heat number 2 then. Sullivan, Brogdon, Mills, Pilkington, Taylor, Holland, Atkinson, Pearce, Whitechurch and Gretti. It's the scheduled lineup. They're all there. Keep those tweets coming, as Paul was saying. Hashtag Ipsim15. Emma Hill says, good luck to all those competing today, especially my superstar sister, Lavana Hansen. I suppose what we didn't do was say hello to all those watching on the live stream. If you are not available to come to all of the sessions, you can indeed watch on the British Swimming YouTube page. So all the details on the British Swimming website. Here comes the first touch in this one, and it goes to Megan Atkinson, 45.93. It's well inside the entry time for the youngster. Yes, 6 swimmers entry time, 48.73. So she smashed through that. And that will be the biggest points total in heat number 2. So 434.
Yeah, again, a nice improvement there. 45.93 for Megan Atkinson. And her entry time there, you said 48 points, so a big improvement there, especially on a 50 freestyle. The result is confirmed. You saw it just scrolling away from your scoreboard there. And as these swimmers exit the water, swimmers at the other end of the pool will be ready for heat number 3. Heat number 3, Samantha Wilson in 0, Sarah Josephine Hansen in 1, Adele Maguire in 2, Jeannie Darroch in 3, Chloe Watley in 4, Olivia Pickering in 5, Sally Phillips in 6, Megan Short in 7, Grace Cooper-Holmes in 8, and Maisie Bernard-Martin in lane number 9. Very good start there in, looks like lane number 2, Adele Maguire from Warrington. As in all these heats, it's mixed classifications. Adele Maguire in lane number 2 is an S8 classification. Swimming with the use of one arm there, and she is coming in a very good time in 40.33 for Adele Maguire. That's a 5-second improvement on her entry time, and she is followed home in 2.65 by Chloe Watley and Grace Cooper-Holmes, 42.99. There's the results on your scoreboard. As you can see, the highest points total looks like it is 506 points there. Sarah Josephine Hansen from Norway finishing in 43.63, 506 points for the Norwegian swimmer. So as the heats go through, we are ramping up the points total. So we've reached 500, Alan. Can we get close to that 1,000 mark as we go through the remaining heats? The next heat is ready to go. It's heat number 4.
So heat number 4, no entry time slower than 44 seconds here, so this is getting quicker by the heat, as always. Samantha Lewis, Abigail Easton, Maze Summers-Newton, Sarah Pashao, Kate Willett-Young, Hayley Mill, Rebecca Lewis, Katie Crowhurst, Megan Russ and Julia Castello-Fare of Spain, completing the lineup. That was a well read out Spanish name there, wasn't it? Julio Castello-Fare.
It's good, very impressive.
Getting good at this talking stuff, me. Lane 5, Hayley Mill of Grantham. I mentioned this yesterday, it's not far from me at all. 38.74, 470 points, completely eclipsed by the lane alongside her in 4, Katie Willett-Young. 40.72, the S6 swimmer getting 623. So our points totals jump 123 in just one heat there. Great swim from Katie Willett-Young. And Maze Summers-Newton has bettered that, in fact, 40.15, 649. So a big improvement. We're heading upwards in the right direction here, Paul.
Very good, yeah. Maisie Summers-Newton coming in there, an S6 swimmer. So as we said yesterday, S1 to 10, those with physical impairments. S1 being the most severe and S10 being the least impaired.
Keep your tweets coming. Siobhan Flanagan says, good luck, Team Ireland. Go, guys. Emma Vincent was, watching yesterday from the sofa. Today, she's actually gone to work. Well, probably a good idea at some point to go to work. It's all right for us. This is what we do. It's good. We're going to move on in a moment. This will be heat number 5.
Heat number 5 sees Tammy Barrett-Haynes in 0, Rachel Tweedy in 1, Sarah Louise Rung in 2, Mary Makinen in 3, Lavana Hansen in 4, Brenda Tilk in 5, Molly Hopkins 6, Thelma Bjornsdottir in 7, Alva Kelly in 8 and Fabienne Andre in lane number 9. Well, good start in lane number 1, Rachel Tweedy from Marple. Expect the biggest points total to come from the Paralympic medalist Sarah Louise Rung in lane number 2. But Rachel Tweedy is going to win this one. A very good time again, 36.52. And she is followed home by Brenda Tilk from Estonia, 38.63. And yep, I think it was Sarah Louise Rung who will get the highest points total in a time of 40.74. It looks like 683 points will be enough to top the table in terms of points for that event. And there's the result confirmed on your scoreboard. Sarah Louise Rung at the top of the tree there, 683 ahead of Bjornsdottir and Brenda Tilk.
Shall we move on to heat 6, Paul? Why not? Heat 6.
Rebecca Franks in 0, Jordan Marjorie in 1, Errol Halevi in 2, Maya Briscoe in 3, Jay McCabe in 4, Tess Routcliffe in 5, Eleanor Bamber in 6, Grace Harvey in 7, Eleanor Robinson in 8, and Portia Jones in lane number 9. All these swimmers in around about the 35 through to 38 second range. So can anyone improve on their entry times? Jay McCabe looking very good here in lane number 4 ahead of the Canadian Tess Routcliffe. Jay McCabe is going to touch first in 34.66. That is a good time from her. We're seeing good improvements here. Grace Harvey also a good swim there, 670 points for Grace Harvey. but it looks like the biggest points earner, according to our screen, is Tess Routliff. Oh, in fact, no, Tess Routliff from Canada, second, but Eleanor Robinson from Northampton, 729 points in a time of 38.64. Good swim there from Eleanor Robinson.
There's people watching this all over the world. And remember, not only are we commentating here inside the venue at Tollcross, but the commentary is going out over to the live stream as well. And that means that people like Zoe Jones, who is watching in Australia, has got to love watching the British Para Swimming International meets. He says, wherever you're from, let us know if you're watching on the live stream. The Grantham Swim Club sending their tweets in as well. Keep them coming. Hashtag BIPSIM15. Next heat, Heat 7. Heat 7 then, Harriet Dickinson, Natalie Moon, Elizabeth Eagle, Ragnar Forza, Hope Gordon, Beth Johnston, Bethan Eckley, Coral Farrell, Kirsten Pinson and Eleanor Simmons. Simmons in the S6 category needs a qualification time in this of 35.37. She's current British record holder in the X6 50 freestyle, 35.23. She might not be first to touch here. In fact, she'll be last at the boards, but we'll be keeping an eye on that qualification time. Here in 7, Coral Farrell, 33.16. Simmons touches in 36.52. 863 points outside of the QT she was looking for.
She's very competitive at the 50 freestyle, all events that she does, Ellie Simmons. And she would probably rank the 50 freestyle as not one of her favourites, a little bit too short for Ellie, but she'll be going in one of her favourite events later on this morning, so maybe she's saving something for that one. She still tops the points total though, 863 points, followed by the S11 swimmer, the Estonian Elizabeth Eagle, swimmer with no vision at all. And she'll be swimming with black Turk goggles, the Estonian. Very good performance from her last night in winning the junior medal in one of the events last night in the breaststroke. Hope Gordon from Stirling Swim, third place on the points total with 603 points. So as the swimmers have exited the water, we move on to the next heat, heat number 8. Daniel Hartin goes in 0, Lily McLeod 1, Emily Tilley in 2, Stephanie Millward in 3, Naomi Mikey Schnicker in 4, Alice Ty in 5, Harriet Lee 6, Emma Cattle 7, Nicole Love in 8 and Susie Rogers in lane number 9. Well, watch out for some qualification targets here. Susie Rogers in 9, Alice Ty in 5, Stephanie Millward in 3, Naomi Mikey Schnicker going very well in 4. She's going to win this one in 28.97. Alice Ty in next in 29.94. We shall watch out for Susie Rogers too. 34.47 for Susie Rogers. So that'll be just outside her own British record time. In terms of the points, it is Stephanie Millward in 840 points, 30.78 for Stephanie Millward. Naomi Mikey Schnittger, very good swim from her, 28.97, 801 points, just 2 ahead of Alice Ty, 799 points for Alice Ty, just dipping under the 30-second mark. Of course, these swimmers are trying to make places for the finals this evening, so they'll have a second bite at this event later on if they have managed to make any of the finals. We have A, B and C finals tonight. So hopefully these swimmers will be looking to make improvements in the final session tonight. We're now ready to move on to the next heat, heat number 9.
So heat 9 then. Chloe Buck, Morgan Bird, Claire Cashmore, Amy Marin, Aurélie Rivard, Sarai Gascon, Sophie West, Maya Reichard, Kira Shepherd and Amy McFarlane. That's the lineup going here. Amy Marin's qualifying time in this 50, 29.36. You're looking for in lane 3, so keep your eye on that, 29.36. Here though, Rivard, who had a very good day yesterday, 28.58, 918, but Gascon alongside of the S9 Summit, 939. Amy Marin's time, 30.31, enough for 879 points. That's the top 3. Marin third, Rivard in second, Sarai Gascon 939. That'll take some beating as we go through here. One more heat of these women's 50 freestyles to come. Keep those tweets coming in as well. Gabby says, good luck, Nikki, to Nicole Luff. Smash it up. There's an awful picture of myself, Paul and Jodie Laresh on the on the stream as well, on the Twitter feed.
Oh dear.
Don't go and look at that. Thanks, Annalie, for that one. And do you go back to Hobart? Where's she gone? Jenny Green flying the Salford flag. Go Jack Sheffield. Go Will. City of Sheffield and City of Salford swimmers, sorry, being supported. Keep your tweets coming. Hashtag BPSIM15 as we move on to our final heat. This is heat number 10.
Gemma Bennett, Rebecca Redfern, Nuria Marquez Soto, Lena Vats, Hannah Russell, Elena Kravzov, Pernille Lindberg, Zara Maluli, Megan Richter and Stephanie Baumann. Well, record breakers from yesterday. Hannah Russell, what a swim she had. 1 minute .01 for Hannah Russell in the 100 freestyle. And now she's coming back here. She is the British record holder at 27.51. A great swim from Hannah Russell. 27.83 for Hannah Russell. And she's just outside her own British record time. Rebecca Redfern, another record breaker. She comes in at 32.46. Record breaker from yesterday. But Hannah Russell will top the points total. 903 points for Hannah Russell. Well, we looked at her swimming yesterday, Alan. What a swim she had in the 100 freestyle, just over the 1 minute mark. We didn't announce her as a person who had made the qualifying standard because there's no event for the 100 freestyle for her classification, but she can swim up into the higher class, the S13 class, and she made the standard for that. So we make it 4 people that have made the qualifying standard.
Yeah, you were on about this. We discussed it over breakfast. You could always swim up in that category, and if you look at it that way, she did indeed go through the time required. So the event summary is now scrolling through on the screen. Keep your eyes peeled for your favourite swimmers as those times. And remember, we've got A, B, and C finals, so plenty of opportunity for people to swim more than once here at Tollcross inside the day. And actually, we had some really exciting B and C finals yesterday. We've got the youth medals that we give out as well. I tried to give a youth medal out to somebody who was over the youth age yesterday. Apologies to our Estonian swimmer Elizabeth Eagle, who actually got a bronze medal, and I announced it as somebody completely different. Hey-ho.
The right person got
The
the
right
medal.
person got the medal. That was good.
That's the main thing.
That was the main thing in the end. Right, we've seen how the women do it. Let's see how the men get on with the multi-classification 50 metres freestyle. This is Heat 1. So apologies for that. We'll get back to the action in a couple of minutes' time. Do keep sending us your tweets, by the way. It's great to have pieces of information come through. Perth City Swim Club, good start for Regan Doig. A 2-second PB in the 100 breaststroke final last night. I've got the 200 IM coming up a little bit later on. Give it all you've got, it says here from Perth City Swim Club. So yeah, if you've got a message for your favourite swimmer, then do send them in. We will try and read them out. Again, to those people watching on the live stream at home, be interested to see where you are in the world, where you're watching it from. So do send us a tweet if you're watching on the live stream. Let us know. The majority of people yesterday just kept saying, sat on the sofa, Paul. A bit lazy, isn't it?
I know. We're not sitting down all day, are we?
Yeah, we are sat down all day.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the action. This is Heat 1 of the men's multi-classification, 50 metres freestyle.
Well, we are underway for this first heat of the 50 freestyle. We have an extra swimmer that has been put into the earlier heat here, so he is stretching away from the rest, as you would expect. It's Ludvig Nuren from Sweden. He's an S10 swimmer, so just a minimal impairment for Ludvig Nuren, and he is coming home now in 28.52 for Ludvig Nuren. That'll earn him 536 points. The heats as we go through are time seeded, but as I said, was an extra swimmer just put into that first heat. So expect him to be a little bit faster than the others. We have the other three swimmers, Dimitrios Karapidis from Greece in line 3, Matthias Blazewski from Poland in 4, and Ishtak Istvalov from Israel in lane number 5, the world record holder in the S1 class. But coming in now in lane 4 is Blazewski. We'll keep an eye on Mamisvalov. He won the 100 last night. He was the highest points total in the 100 freestyle. He comes in now, Blazewski at 105.80 and Mamisvalov at 108.08, and that is a good target for the swims to come. Mamisvalov 823 points according to our screens. Dimitrios Karapidis coming in for Greece. His entry time of 1:47 is going to be bettered by quite a margin, 132.96. Good improvement on the entry time. Excellent improvement from the Greek.
Got there, third time of asking.
They did, and it was a good performance from the man who swam an extra 10 metres at the start, so didn't do him much harm at all.
Any harm whatsoever. It's great to see some swimmers composing themselves. Doesn't matter what the problems are. They've got on with the job at hand. And Mamisvalov has given himself 823 points to get us started with. So you'd like to think that'll see him somewhere near the A final a little bit later, Paul.
Well, you'd think so. It's a good target, 800 points. You would think the points totals last night were in the 800 range to make the final. But you never know what these swimmers are going to do in the later heats. We saw some excellent performances coming through yesterday, and maybe some people that thought they were safe enough in the finals didn't quite make it. So all depends what happens later on. Any more tweets, Alan?
Yeah, absolutely. It's time for family and friends to keep tweeting. Helen Hind, go Ollie Hind. Hashtag Green Army. The Novian Centurion clan are here. And Ollie Hind involved a little bit later on. So too Charlotte Henshaw, Ben Falston. And there's 5 of them all together. Julie Nesbitt. Katie Nesbitt says, good luck, Jess, in the 200 IM. We're watching you from the gym. That's where I watch all my television, from the gym. That's why I look like I look.
I can tell.
You can tell, yeah? Heat 2. Heat number 2 then. Nelson Lopez, Mattea Greenbeek, Guita Ingvason, Carl Forsman, Daniel Murphy, Bashar Harabi, Miguel Martinez Tejuelo, and Michael Fredriksson. And, through the centre lanes, Forsman and Murphy. It'll be Carl Forsman of Sweden, 42.18, who touches first, but the Canadian S5 swimmer Murphy collects 407 for his swim from a time of 43.11, greeted by a yeah.
Canadians have been quiet this morning.
They have been quiet. Was it? Team Canada were very noisy yesterday, and they've... there we go. I pressed that Team Canada button again, didn't I? There it is.
I see what you did there.
The Spanish team will be slightly happier though. The S3 swimmer Martinez Tejuelo has clocked a 53.89. That gives him 494 points. Fredriksson 467. Murphy 407. That's the top 3 in that heat. Keep your tweets coming. Hashtag BPSIM. BPSIM 15.
Top 2 guys there, the S3 swimmers, Martinez, Gruello and Fredriksson, both experienced internationalists. Martin Estuel, 5 silver medals at the World Championships in 2013. Be hoping to go one better at least one of these events when he comes back here in the summer.
Still not bad.
Not bad.
Let's be realistic. To have 5 silver medals,
You wouldn't turn it down.
I'm not going to turn it down. I've got 5 cookies. That's not the same at all, is it?
No. Final swimmer just coming out of the water, and we are ready to move on to heat number 3. Zach Washington Young even, and James Brown, Niels Reim, Leo Johnson, Cameron Vernicombe, Scott Hadley, Alexander Platonov, Matthew Close, William Holland-Levens and Adam Donachie. Lanes 1 and 2, 0 and 1 merging together there.
Some of the names we have to cope with, and you've got Washington Young wrong. Mate, that's I don't know where you've gone there. I like what you've done though. You've amalgamated what lanes 0 and 1, very good. Here in 4, Verncombe, 34.43, 363 points. 401 for Willie Holland-Levens. We saw a couple of tweets about him a little bit earlier. 401 is the point score. Platonov of Russia here in 6 will be our final swimmer to take the touch. There it goes in a time of 52.10. So it looks like Holland-Levens of City of Salford, 38.74, 401.
He won his heat yesterday, I think, William Holland-Levens, City of Salford swimmer. And it's Zach Washington Young, the second highest point scorer, 375, ahead of the man who hit the wall first, Cameron Verncombe from Taunton.
Will Holland-Levens occasionally write a blog for our website? My website, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
About the adventures of being a disability swimmer. Very interesting read.
He's been around for a few years now, and he won that heat very well, still performing well. Swimmers are out of the water, move on to the next heat.
So James Scully, Riley Shanahan, Liam Walsh, Martin Trundle, Mark Mallier, Connor Boyfield, Andrew Mullen, Connor Freeman, Patrick Flanagan and Matthew Harding are the swimmers in. We've got a technical glitch up here, so we can't give you any times just yet, but what we can tell you, we can use the old commentator skills. In lane 2, leading away at the moment, touching him first was Callum Hodgington. As they all come through, we'll have to try and bring you the times as we go along.
Yeah, no times appearing really on our screens here, so hopefully they won't hold us up too much. We're pretty tight there as the swimmers came in to the end. Not much to choose between all of them. Did look like it was Liam Walsh that got in first there in lane number 2. First appearance, of course, of Andrew Mullen, kind of the face of these championships. Big poster of Andrew in the foyer there, standing in the middle of the sea with a big trident.
You tried that?
I haven't tried it. Andrew obviously has.
He obviously has.
Probably not an event he would have expected to qualify for, Andrew Mullen, this one, the 50 freestyle, but he has a big event coming up very shortly, the 200 IM. Andrew Mullen, the last to leave the water, as we now move on to the next heat.
So Marino Ingi Aldolfsson, lane 0. Matthew Thorne, Callum Hodgson, Alexander Goodman, Conor Lockwood, Aaron Maddox, Mikael Natunen, Benjamin Granger, Thomas Uri and Damien Ngi are your swimmers here in heat number 5. We've got our scoreboard back. Taking a touch here is Callum Hodgson from Basildon, 32.23, 442 points. Mikael Natunen of Finland, 33.86, 546 points for Natunen. And that looks like being the biggest point scorer in heat 5. Plenty of cheering from the Finland team. Are they happy in the stands? Team Finland, there's only 3 of them sat there making more noise than Team Canada. See what I did there?
Canada.
Just wedged it in.
Natunen was a good swim.
Wasn't even subtle, was it, that?
No.
Keep the tweets coming. Isabel Grindle says, good luck, Tom. Swim fast from Mum and the boys. And Wendy Thomas, watching in sunny Swansea. It ain't sunny here, Wendy, I can tell you that. We will move on to heat number 6. So we've got another heat underway. Sherman, Buchanan, Phillips, Underwood, Smith, Davis, McDonald, Macbeth, Clement, Rodriguez. Good morning to St Paul's School. There they are. Schools are normally noisier than that, but apparently St Paul's School is the quietest school here in Scotland. Oh no, that's better. Well done, St Paul's. Coming through here. A 3-way tie as they come through pretty much. 471 points for Christian Buchanan of East Lothian, who swam in lane 1 there. Time of 31.55. Good swim from Peter Davis, 32.05, 493 points. Dara McDonald of Ireland, 35.18, 536 points. Sebastian Rodriguez of Spain, 36.74, 657 points. So we've jumped up 100 from the last heat. We've still got 823 from Itzhak Mamatsvalov in heat number 1.
Rodriguez, European record holder from Spain in the S5 class. And it was a tie right at the start there, 31.55 for both the top 2 swimmers finishing there, hitting the wall together. But it is about, remember, mixed classification, so who gets closest to the world record for their own classification. Ready now to move on to heat number 7. Sebastian Ivanov in 0, Henry Fletcher in 1, Johnny McGrath in 2, Jack Sheffield in 3, Caleb Grace in 4, Isaac Dunning in 5, Joshua Monan-Coombs in 6, Frederick Axling in 7, Andrew Guest in 8, and Kieran Tillum in lane number 9. Henry Fletcher going well, the S14 swimmer in lane number 1, swimmer with a learning disability. And he's coming in with lane 4. Caleb Grace absolutely together there. But it is Henry Fletcher, 30.83. He will get the touch. And he gets a very high point score, 505. But it's not enough to beat lane 0. Sebastian Ivanov, 691 points. The experienced man from Germany, German Paralympic medalist. And we do have, as you can see on your scoreboard, a disqualification for a technical infringement for lane number 4. Results are confirmed on your scoreboard. 691 points. Remember, 1,000 points is roughly equivalent to a world record swim. So we're getting up towards the 700 point mark, and that's when you kind of see the top performers come into these heats. We are ready, as the swimmers exited the water, to move on to the next heat, Heat 8.
So Heat 8, Grant Taylor, Matthew Trundle, Thomas Brown, Marco Glatzel, Oliver Carter, Ruben Linhares, Michael Jones, Jean-Michel Lavrière, Tom Piggott and Daniel Bennett. No lane 0 correction on Grant Taylor there. As they come to the wall then. 659 points here go to Jean-Michel Lavalière of Canada. 31.80 the time there. Beaten only by Michael Jones, Loughborough. All the sixes.
Yes, all the
Clickety
sixes.
click. Is that right? There you go.
666. Well done. That was a good swim at the front there by Oliver Carter from Cooper. Just up the road from me, Alan. A fifer, Ollie Carter, 28.85.
A fifer, is that a thing?
A fifer is a thing.
Is that a thing? Is that what we call them?
Yeah,
a fifer?
Yeah.
So like Michelle's a fifer? They're not quite the same.
Good swim though.
Keep your tweets coming. Joe Marin says, from Uncle Dennis to Amy Marin, go we Amy. We will go to Heat 9.
Andreas Onea, Jackson Simmons, Connor Morrison, Carlos Tejada Rovira, Tobias Pollap, Bastien Fontaine, Oladesi Adefasan, Gareth Orr, Joshua Hogan Grob and Arthur Morley. It looks like Connor Morrison been in great form the last few weeks, improving his personal best. Nearly got under the 1 minute yesterday in the 100 freestyle. It's the Geary swimmer, Connor Morrison, 27.72 for Connor Morrison. That is another excellent swim from the Geary man, and he comes in first position in terms of top point scorers. Morrison 695, that'll get him second in the rankings as they stand at the moment, and Tobias Pollap is the man at the top there, 804 points. I think in the last few heats, certainly that's the first man in the 800 point range. Mami Svalov, I think, was 800 points in one of the earlier heats.
823.
Good knowledge, Alan, good knowledge.
Well, no, I've got another bit of paper.
Oh, yes. 800, just over the 800 points mark, though, for Tobias Pollap. That'll put him in second place at the moment as we move on to the final 4 heats, heat number 10.
So heat 10 of 30 in here. 4 heats left to go. Robert Douglas, Macaulay Ainsley, Craig McNeil, Luis Paredes, Marco, Benjamin Falston, Joseph Craig, Zach McAllister, Lewis White, Kmar Kaldma and Itu Kallio of Finland complete the lineup. Keep an eye out, Joseph Craig here. 28.45 is an entry time, qualification time of 26.42. That's a big ask here. But in lane 4, Ben Falston, the S10 swimmer, pushing aside his entry time there. Be interested to see if that's a new personal best for Ben Falston. 28.05, entry time of 28.44. So he's done well there. Nearly 4/10 of a second off. Joseph Craig, 28.15. That's inside his entry time as well by 3/10 of a second. 728 for Joseph Craig. We'll see him, I'm sure, a little bit later on in the B or A final, I'd imagine.
Yeah, 728 points. Should make one of the finals. That's just 0.2 of a second outside the British record held by Sean Fraser. Can move on now to the next heat, Heat 11.
It's amazing the power of Twitter. So Miss Neeson and primary 4B from St Paul's School. There you go. How do we know that? There you are. You see, Miss Neeson's here making some noise with the St Paul's crew. Primary 4B. Hope you're enjoying all this wonderful swimming here. As we've got Clegg, Harazawa, Molaki, Pumipu, Simon, Alcaraz, Boone, Gotel, Afendayev and Pearson here in Heat 11 as they come to the wall. Good swim from Jose Maria Alcaraz of Spain, 856 points in a time of 26.47. And that is a wonderful points total that should guarantee a place in the A final for Alcaraz. 856. Federico Molaki of Italy, 771. The confirmed results are now being displayed on the scoreboard. Dalton Boone of Canada in third in that heat, 27.22. Woo, there you go. 734. And to complete the international lineup in the top 4, Daniel Simon of Germany. So Spain, Italy, Canada and Germany. I nearly called you a European country there, Canada. I apologise for that. Didn't actually in the end. International, that's what we said. That's how we'll do it.
First swim we've seen from Morlacchi. He was one of the stars of the European Championships last year. 5 gold medals for the Italian. He'll be back in other events, I'm sure. Now ready to move on to heat number 12. Adam Melville, Jonathan Eek, David Grasha, James Hollis, Dimitri Saleh, James Clegg, Thomas Hamer, Matthew Wiley, John Gerald Canal, Saul Bressett. That's the lineup for heat number 12. Well, 2 British record holders from yesterday. James Clegg in 5, Matthew Wiley in 7. Thomas Hamer also could go well in 6, but it is Dimitri Saleh, the Azerbaijani swimmer, 846 points there. 24.31, a fast time there. He's followed home by James Clegg and Thomas Hamer, 25.43 and 25.69 on.
Matthew Wiley, City of Sunderland, has swam exactly the same time as his entry time there, 27.04. 803 points in that one, 873 for Tommy Hamer, City of Manchester. Aquatics, 26.64 entry time, 25.69 the time he's posted here. That's a decent swim from Tom Hamer. 25.69
Well, we'll just have a check of the records. It's not an event, so he can't qualify, Tom Hamer, for this event, for the World Championships, but the British record did stand at 25.78, so a new British record swim there from Tom Hamer, 25.69. Well done, Tom Hamer, a new British record.
We make that 11 records. 10 yesterday, 4 in the morning, 6 in the evening, and a world record as well. Tommy Hamer, British record there. Well done. Move on. Our final heat of this is heat 13.
Christian Mamic, Julian Extraben, Aaron Moores, Leo Latimaki, Nathan Steen, David Levesque, Antti Latika, Adam Ishmael Wenham, Gio Gattino and Matthew Walker. Can Matthew Walker qualify for another World Championships? He made his debut back in 1998 where he took the title. Matthew Walker will watch out for him in the outside lane. In the middle, it's Nathan Steen who's come home first in 24.57, and the highest points total will go to Matthew Walker in a time of 28.51 for Walker. So it is about 0.2, 0.3 of a second outside the qualifying standards at the moment. There's the results confirmed on the scoreboard. 914 points for Matt Walker.
Just under 3/10 short of what he needs, but we make that the highest points total of the event from Matthew Walker, 914. So I'm sure we'll all be pushing him on to get those final few fractions of a second. He needs a qualifying time of 28.23 the A time we've got in our programme. 28.23 is the A time. That time 28.51. Not quite, but he'll be back a little bit later.
Well, he'll certainly have qualified for the final with that swim. He should be in the A final, so he'll have another chance in the evening to try and claim that qualification time. That is the last heat of the men's 50. We now move on to the next event, event 203, which is the women's 200 metres individual medley. There are 7 heats in this one, and this is heat number 1.
So as Paul was saying, heat 1 of 7 then in the women's multi-classification 200 metres individual medley. Suzanne Warren, Team Ipswich, goes in lane 0. Samantha Wilson of Cockermouth in 1. Megan Atkinson of Peterlee in 2. Megan Short, Satellite in 3. Katie Rillett-Young, Burnley, goes in 4. Giulia Guedetti of Italy goes in 5. Lavana Hansen of Gloucester in 6. Georgia Howell, Littlehampton in 7. Sophie Gray of Ealing in 8. And Valerie Drapeau of Canada goes in lane 9.
Just delayed reaction there from the Canada team, wasn't it? Not sure if they're paying attention to you, Alan.
They're not listening. Who does?
Let's see who's got the lead here as they come up towards the halfway stage. probably, well, is that lane 3? It's Megan Short from Satellite. Went through the first 50 very fast, 51.03. The entry times for these swimmers are ranging from just under the 4-minute mark right up to over the 5-minute mark. So they could be fairly spread out as they come into the final stages of the race. But at halfway, it's very close indeed between the top 3 swimmers. Megan Short, Julia Gueretti and Levana Hansen. They are different classifications. Megan Short, the SM7 class. Julia Gueretti, SM5, and Levana Hansen, SM8. Julia Gueretti, member of the Italian team at the World Championships in 2013 and at the Europeans last year. The Italian team very successful last year at the Europeans. They had big numbers of medals. Julia Gueretti, medalist in the relay event, so the Italian team will be a force to be reckoned with when they come back here in the summer. Gueretti looking very good at the moment. Going ahead now of Megan Short. And Levana Hansen back in 3rd now.
Just coming up to 3 minutes. So these guys now starting to head back towards the finish here. Swing away from the scoreboard. Gueretti of Italy, 2:57.01 at the last turn. Followed then by Megan Short. There was no lane 4, as we announced at the beginning. Looks like Gueretti just being pushed on at the end here. Levana Hansen will come through very strongly, in fact, and Hansen will take the first touch. The S8 swimmer, Levana Hansen, coming through here in a time of 3:56.68, which is well inside the entry time of 4:18.24. So there's some happy Levana Hansen people in the crowd. Blimey, there's a whole bus full of them. That's the complete Hansen family. Even the ones from the band in the 90s. They're all there. 5:15 points-wise for Gueretti, 286 for Levana Hansen's time. I think it was more about the time for her than anything else, well inside that 4-minute marker. So well done to the Gloucester swimmer, Georgia Howell, finishing with 4:24.89, 336 points there. So 5:15 for Gueretti. Going to take some beating here, but as we said, there's 4 different classifications within this race, so have to wait for all of them to come home. And the 2 outside lanes now, Canadian and Team Ipswich swimmer Suzanne Warren either side. I'm sure Team Canada will be supporting their swimmers as they come into the final 5 here, as we all should be. Give these swimmers some encouragement as they finish their 200 IM heats. And Gapo finishes in 5:21.33. Suzanne Warren on the far side from us in lane 0, coming into the finish. Take a touch in 5:36.56.
I just said a few classes there. Alan, we saw the difference in the disabilities there. Levana Hansen, double leg amputee there coming through at the end. Very similar disability to the great American swimmer Jessica Long, who I know that Levana Hansen met last year when Jessica Long was here. Julia Gueretti, well, in using a wheelchair there, not much use of her lower limbs at all. So her body was really dragging there at the end. And Levana Hansen managed to come through a little bit more buoyant.
Well, that's we'll do a bit of audience participation. Levana Hansen's family and friends over there, that's got to be a personal best, doesn't it? What other questions have I got for the crowd? Okay, let me have a think about it. St Paul's School, are you still enjoying yourself?
That's good, isn't it?
They're not that noisy. Where I come from in Nottingham, schools were noisy. It probably fits me that's good, for my job. But schools in Nottingham are dead noisy. So I reckon St Paul's can be a little bit noisier than that. So I'll give them a test. After 3, I want them to shout hello. So 1, 2, 3. I wouldn't even let you in my school. That's not loud. That's a murmur in our house. In the March household, I don't even get out of bed for that. That's not noisy. There were disqualification in lane 0 and in lane 8 of the previous heat. We now move on to heat number 2. Heat number 2 of this 200 metres individual medley. Maisie Summers-Newton of Wellingborough goes in lane 0. Elise Martin de la Torre of Team Ipswich in 1. Sarah Pichal, London Disability Swim Club in 2. Portia Jones, Shrewsbury, goes in 3. Mina Clausen of Norway in 4, Thelma Bjornsdottir of Iceland in 5, Grace Harvey of Hoddesdon in 6, Nicole Turner of Ireland in 7, Samantha Lewis, Satellite in 8, and Lanthasant's Rebecca Lewis in 9. I needed Billy Pye on that. Where's he gone? My Welsh teacher from yesterday. I learned how to say good luck. That's about it. That's where I get.
Keith Morgan's there though. He'll help you. Lantrasant, man.
Lantrasant. There we are. That'll do. Paul was. I said a noisy school. Paul was pointing out that I have pretty much a school of my own in my own home. 4 daughters now. 4. I'm going to have to go out more. 100 gone here, 100 to go, turning in 6. Grace Harvey, 133.14. Some distance ahead of Elise Martin de la Torre, the SM6 swimmer from Team Ipswich in lane 1 there, turning in 138.98. Not quite as spread out as the first heat, Paul.
No, it's pretty close at the back of the field there, and at the front too. It's certainly for second and third, there's a good battle going on here, but Grace Harvey has gone away pretty well here in lane number 6. She has been on good form. We've seen her in the heats, and she is probably just stretching away here from the rest. And the person which she's going ahead of, Mina Clausen from Norway, in the same classification, is a medalist, or was a medalist at the Europeans last year. So some top class opposition for Grace Harvey to gauge herself against, and she does have a lead. Mina Clausen has come back on the breaststroke lead, but Grace Harvey is away and clear here. And the British record standing at 3:36 now, could be under threat for Grace Harvey. And that's held by Liz Johnson. And it's been held for, a number of years. 2003 when it was last broken. So can Grace Harvey challenge that record of 3:36 as she comes into the last 15? I think she might be able to do it, Alan.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get right behind Grace Harvey then. We're looking at an SM7 record, 3:36.23. Let's try and push her on as we come just around about 5 metres to go here for Grace Harvey. 3:36.23 is the British record as we've got it. That's gone. 3:23.32. We'll confirm that in a second. Paul will get his gizmos and his gadgets out and start taking a look, but we reckon that is a British record. 3:36.23. We had that down as 3:23.32 from Grace Harvey. Great swim, 568 points for that as well. De La Toya gets 596 at the moment. That stands highest of all in the points totals, 338.78, which is nearly 10 seconds off her entry time as well, the Team Ipswich swimmer. So well done to De La Toya. Final swimmer to come through here, Samantha Lewis. You've got your British record book in front of you, Paul. Were we right in what we said?
We were pretty sure, I think, but just a double check there. A great swim there from Grace Harvey from Hoddesdon, and subject to ratification, of course, that will be a new British record for Grace Harvey. Let's hear it for the new British record holder. And it was smashed, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't just beaten, brushed aside.
3:23. That record had stood since 2003. Grace Harvey has just blown it out of the water. Great swim there. And of course, the European medalist as well in the same class.
Absolutely.
Was in second place, some way behind Grace Harvey. So
got some tweets. A lot of love for Lavana Hansen in the last heat. Emma Hill just watched the awesome girl Lavana Hansen live on the stream. And also Emily Piddington says, good work, Lavana, was cheering you on all the way, looking good, big hugs. We have a disqualification in lane 9 of the previous heat. The results are confirmed. We believe that's a new British record. Let's have another heat and see what happens in that one. This is heat number 3. Couple of British records already. That's what we like to see here. The old swimming events. Jordan Marjorie, Bridgen in lane 0. Del Maguire, Warrington in 1. Bethany Eckley, Cardiff in 2. Sarah Louise Rung, Norway in 3. Harriet Dickinson, Clevedon in 4. Tess Routliffe, Canada in 5. Hayley Milne, Grantham in 6. Abigail Easton, Braunston in 7. Rebecca Franks, Gainsborough in 8. Eleanor Robinson of Northampton goes in lane 9. I've got a lot of time for Eleanor Robinson. Her dad's a Forest fan. Can't beat that. Scarf's in the bag, as always. Robinson does indeed turn in first position as well here. 41.68. The SM6 swimmer in lane 9. Into the backstroke they go. Lesson for all you kids from St Paul's, and you've been joined. Have you been joined by Wellshot Primary School? No. I don't know who the ones in blue are. It is Wellshot Primary School. There we go. Is that Mrs Blaney? We know all the information about the local schools, we do. Turning in 1, Adele Maguire, just in front of Harriet Dickinson. Bethan Eckley, City of Cardiff, in 3rd position. 1:33.81 at the last turn, Paul.
Yeah, Dale Maguire, another one whose name's becoming familiar. Not the swimmers in the earlier heats. We just, if they are improving their times, you'll see them at the front of the field. Adele Maguire is one of them. Eleanor Robinson, well, she was leading earlier. The 50 butterfly is probably her best event. So Eleanor Robinson, no surprise she was leading in the early stages there. But Adele Maguire coming through now with the yellow cap in the centre. It looks like it could be Harriet Dickinson from Clevedon. Adele Maguire, an SM8 swimmer. She only uses the one arm. Harriet Dickinson, SM10. Minimal impairment in one limb. But watch out for Sarah Louise Rong, the SM5 swimmer. So the lowest classification in this one. Twice a Paralympic champion, Sarah Louise Rong from Norway. 2 Paralympic gold medals to her name. and a number of world and European medals, the great Norwegian. She could well have the highest points total. That's the swimmer being closest to the world record for their class. She's not going to be first to the wall though. That is going to be Harriet Dickinson, who's come through very, very strongly here in the end. And she is going to touch in somewhere around about 3:10-ish, 3:11.08 for Harriet Dickinson. Followed home by Tess Routcliffe from Canada, 3:14.69. And Adele Maguire in 3:18. Ahead of Bethan Eckley and Sarah Louise Rung. And as expected, Sarah Louise Rung, 3 minutes 22.85. And that is the highest points total, 867 points. That's a good total. Remember, 1,000 points, roughly equivalent to a world record swim. So just 133 points short of that.
It's a cracker, isn't it? 867.
Good.
Just strolled down to bed and did an 867. Nice one. Good work if you can get it. 3:22.85. So as they make their way out of the pool, a reminder to everyone that if you would like to purchase photos of the event, they are for sale. If you want more details, you can go to the information desk in the foyer. So if you would like to purchase official photos of the event, maybe the Lavana Hansen fan club didn't quite get a good enough photo, get yourself down to the information desk. I've no idea on prices, don't ask me, and I'm not going to barter. They're for sale at the price they're for sale at. I have no idea. Go to the information desk in the foyer. Maybe there's a buy one, get one free. I have no idea. Go and have a look. Tell them Alan sent you. See what happens. Paul is tucking into his Danish. We're going to tuck in to some more 200 IM. That's got custard in it, that one. Heat number 4. Heat 4 then, of this 200 metres individual medley in the women's section. Remember, we've got the men's section to come a little bit later. Nova Centurion Charlotte Henshaw goes in 0. Camille Baruba of Canada goes in lane number 1. Eleanor Simmons, Loughborough in 2. Yulia Gorichuk of Israel in 3. Elizabeth Agel of Estonia in 4. Lily McLeod, Richmond in 5. Natalie Moon, Kingston, Hull in 6. Kirsten Pinston of Sherwood in 7. Beth Johnson of Best in 8. And Eleanor Bamba of Glossop goes in lane 9.
Ellie Simmons will be really targeting this one. This is her best event, arguably. She has dominated this one for the last few years. Paralympic champion, of course, in London in 2012. 4 times a Paralympic champion in all. And Ellie Simmons will be looking to try and achieve that qualification standard. The time she's looking for is 3:15.25. And she should be capable of that, Ellie Simmons. It should be fairly comfortable for her, but she's got to do it. She's got to try to keep pace with the swimmers around her. She's very strong in the second half of the race. Simmons goes over in 9th position overall in 1:32.06. So she is in great shape, Ellie Simmons. She's almost on world record pace, Alan. Just half a second out. So Ellie Simmons, bang on course for a good time here in lane number 2. We need to give her some support. Surely the St. Paul's School can give her support as they come up alongside the school there at the turn end. Good race at the middle of the pool though. Elizabeth Agel going well in lane number 4. Also Lily McLeod in lane number 5. As they approach the last turn, we will keep an eye on Ellie Simmons though.
Paul is he's cranking up his subject to ratification voice. So we're going to try and cheer these swimmers on. But as Paul was saying, Eleanor Simmons looking in good shape here, so let's see if we can't push them on. Simmons and Henshaw have qualifying times that they need to take a look at. So we head back down here in lane number 5. Lily McLeod, Richmond, 2:13.81 at the last turn. She'll lead them home into the final 15. The dark cap here in lane 5. Entry time 3:01.97, looking to absolutely annihilate this. Lily McLeod, 2:54.18, 599. Paul is keeping his eyes peeled on lane 2. Here comes Simmons, taking the touch in a time of 3:06.09. That's well inside the qualifying standard times we've got down here. So well done, Ellie Simmons. Well inside the times needed to qualify for the IPC Swimming World Championship. So well done to her. $968 points then, Paul.
That's not bad at all for Ellie Simmons. She was just about half a second off in the opening half of that race, and she just dropped another half a second towards the end too. But a great time there, 3:06.09, 968 points. We will not get many swims higher than that 900 point mark. And she becomes, well, we think, the 5th person to achieve the A qualifying standards for the GB team for the World Championships right here in Glasgow, 13th to the 19th of July. That's what the banners say, Alan. So come back here, watch some great swimming in July. Another major international following the Commonwealth Games last year. The results are confirmed. Ellie Simmons, 3:06.09, ahead of Elizabeth Agel, 3:85 for the Estonian. That concludes that heat. We move on to the next heat, Heat 5.
Heat number 5. 5 of 7 here in these 200 metres individual medleys. Zara Maluli of Woking goes in lane 0. Team Northumbria's Harriet Lee in 1. Chloe Buck of Harrogate in 2. Pernilla Lindberg of Sweden in 3. Aurélie Rivard of Canada in 4. Stephanie Millward, Aqua Sullies, there's that whoop again. Aqua Sullies, Stephanie Millward in 5. Claire Cashmore, Ware Forest in 6. Nina Vats, Sweden in 7. Rebecca Redfern, who had a pretty good day, it has to be said, of Worcester in 8. And Danielle Hartin, Basildon in lane 9. There's just general whooping going on now.
Is that a whoop for Rebecca Redfern as well?
For Rebecca Redfern as well, I think, yeah.
Obviously a crowd favourite here.
Yeah. We've got 3 schools. Oh, well, I was about to say we've got 3 schools, and most of them are leaving. Goodbye, St Paul's. Thanks for coming. Off they go. Caledonia School, apparently we've got you in as well. There we are. In the blue. We're expecting more schools a little bit later on, so the crowd filling up. Wellshot Primary School are going to join us at some point, but goodbye, St Paul's. Caledonia in the blue, they're staying with us, enjoying themselves. Here, Rivard of Canada, 1:13.86, there's the whoop, with 1:13.86 at the turn. Behind Stephanie Millward, 1:14.71, 1:17.19, Pernilla Lindberg of Sweden, and Harriet Lee, 1:20.77.
We'll see if anyone can challenge any of these qualification times. Lily Rivard was also confirmed in the Canadian team. That team was picked last week. Another whoop. You like this, Alan, don't you? Pernilla Lindberg going well in lane number 3. Pushing the Canadian now in 4. So it's 3 and 4. Coming into the finish, Millward and Cashmore having a own private battle in 5 and 6. The SM9 swimmers from GB. Pernilla Lindberg is going to touch first at the wall. 237.84 for Lindberg. It's a pretty comfortable swim for Aurélie Rivard from Canada in second. 238.46. And Millward does win that private battle with Claire Cashmore. 244.37 and 244.66.
Last few swimmers coming in. Maluli touching for 540 points. And expect one more whoop when we say that Rivard has the highest points total, 777 in that heat. So the Canadian leads the Swede from Steph Millward in third in that heat. That's a confirmed result for heat number 5. Penultimate heat of this event coming up then. We'll move on in a couple of moments to heat number 6 as Canadians just sit there whooping. Keep your tweets coming. Hashtag BPSIM15, BIPSIM15. Try and read some out. There's a lovely picture of the mascot, the official 2015 IPC Swimming World Champs mascot being put on the timeline. Get yourself following the hashtag BPSIM15. There's Tolly. We'll move on. Looks very similar to you, Paul, Tolly. This is heat 6.
Megan Richter goes in lane 0. Justine Maurier in lane number 1. The first of the 3 Canadians in this one.
Which one's better?
Katarina Roxon from Canada in 2. Regan Doig from Perth City in lane 3. Jessica Jane Applegate, Paralympic champion in 200 freestyle, goes in lane number 4. Amy Marin, the world and European champion in this event for the SM9 class, goes in 5. Gemma Almond, a GB Paralympian, goes in lane number 6. Kirsty Casco from Canada goes in 7. Tarisha Neves from Portugal in 8. And Coral Farrell from Warrington in lane number 9. Well, got to think that Jessica Jane Applegate and Amy Marin will be going for these qualification times. They should be able to achieve them, but it is a tough standard. Time for Jessica Jane, 2:29.68, and for Amy Marin, it's 2:36.99.
Turn in 5 is Marin, 1:10.99. 1:07.91 for Jessica Jane Applegate. In third, Regan Doig, Perth City, 1:16.80. Craig McNeil has tweeted into us. Great job in the 53 for day 2. Just off a personal best. Under 30, whoop. It's hard to read out a whoop in a tweet, by the way. Bring on the 200 IM. So that's Craig McNeil finding time to send us a tweet. Heading down for the final turn in this 200 IM here for Jessica Jane Applegate. Coach Alex will be looking along somewhere, and Dawn will be here somewhere as well.
Jessica Jane Applegate, she is just about on course to make that time. She's going to have to pick up the freestyle. Amy Marin also going well, 2:01 for Amy Marin there at that turn, and she too is just about on the edge of making this qualification standard here. Jessica Jane Applegate, will watch out for her coming in now. 2:29 is her immediate target. 2:29, 2:30 for Jessica Jane. And I'm not sure if Amy Marin is going to achieve that time too. 2:36 for Amy Marin. I think that's just slipped by too. as Regan Doig catches Amy Marin in the final stages. 2:40 for Amy Marin and for Regan Doig. Gemma Almond coming in next, but 875 points for Jessica Jane Applegate. That, I think, is the highest points total we've had so far. Or maybe not. We had a couple in the 900s, but it's up there. Jessica Jane Applegate will be slightly disappointed not to duck under that 230 mark. Tough qualification standards, Alan. But swimmers going to have to be close to their best times if they're going to have to get into these times.
Yeah, the team behind the scenes setting these tough qualification times, and it's to try and maximise the potential of medal returns and looking forward beyond just the World Championships here in Glasgow later on this year, but of course Rio as well. So it's about finding potential and those that are going to just keep getting better. So the times are there to push them all on. And it's doing that. It's doing that quite nicely. And as final swimmer makes their way out from heat 6, we move on to our final heat in this women's section. This is heat number 7.
What can we expect from this heat here? We have Bethany Firth in lane number 4. Can she yet again go close to a world record swim? Can we see her inside the world record mark? Full lineup: Jay McCabe in 0 from Darlington, Emily Telle from Germany in 1, Ellen Keane, the Irish Paralympian, in lane number 2, Tully Kearney from Boldmere in 3, Bethany Firth goes in 4, representing Newcastle, Chloe Davies from Swansea in lane 5, Elena Kravtsov from Germany in 6, Kolbrun Stefansdottir from Iceland in 7, Maya Reichard from Sweden in lane 8, and Anita Os Rafsensdottir in lane number 9.
It was Firth in first at the first turn, and that will be a no change scenario as they come to the end of the first 100 metres. So Firth 104.63. Second then Chloe Davies 110.80. This 14 qualifying time. The A standard is 2:29.68. The B standard is 2:26.34. So the A standard is what they're looking for to begin with. We'll work the rest down as we go along. And Firth, Paul, looking quite comfortable. Sophie Hastings says, so proud of Mickey Jones, loving the streaming. Thank you very much for watching. Remember the commentary going out not only in the venue but out onto the live stream as well. And Robert Nesbitt is watching the action again from college. Says what a night of action we had last night it was. And maybe, just maybe, Bethany Firth is going to give us something else to cheer about. Paul is nodding away. He's starting to get ready with subject to ratification. He's nearly shaking. I've got to hold him still here. Just over 5 metres to go. Paul's going to keep an eye on the time here. Inside the final 5. This is a great swim from Bethany Firth in a time of 2:22.67. Well inside the qualification time.
And well inside the existing world record, so subject to ratification, it could be another world record swim for Bethany Firth, representing Newcastle. And what a great swim that was. Well, she hasn't really got a weakness, has she, Bethany Firth? It was absolutely superb. She was followed home there by Chloe Davis, 2:35.83, and Tully Kearney was next in 2:37.41. So another great swim from Bethany Firth. Well, we're just waiting for confirmation of that result. But it was an excellent swim. You just can't see a weakness in Bethany Firth, can you? Maybe the butterfly, probably the weakest of our 3 strokes, but it's not really a weak stroke when you look at it. The weakest of her 4, but not weak at all. So it looks like the results are confirmed there on your scoreboard. It was a good swim from Tully Kearney there. She did well, 2:37.41, so she's probably the closest at the moment to that qualifying standard for the SM9. She's got to drop another second as we go on to the finals this evening. Still waiting for confirmation of that result, but Bethany Firth certainly well inside the qualification standard.
Such a strength in depth in the SM14 category, isn't there? I just think the S14 category as a whole in the women's section there. Real strength in depth. And watch out, World Championships.
We've got Bethany Firth now, who won a gold medal for Ireland in the London Paralympic Games, now swimming for the GB team. Jessica Jane Applegate, also a medalist in London, gold medalist in London. Well, we do have disqualifications which are appearing on your board. And there we have it. Yeah, 2 disqualifications, I'm afraid. We have in lane number 3, the swimmer was disqualified, and also in lane 1. So those results are confirmed on your scoreboard, and that world record time subject to ratification from Bethany Firth.
Our next event is the men's 200 metres individual medley. The summary for the women's section is now on the screen. In a moment we will move on to the men's heat number 1. So good morning to Wellshot Primary School, who've just made their way in. See, how do we know all this? Mrs. Blaney has brought you straight after assembly. Heat 1 of the men's 200 metres individual medley. Quiet at the start, noisy in the race. So heat 1, lots of instant singing and clapping, Paul, from Wellshot Primary School. Well trained they are. Very good, that's what we like.
That is what we like, excellent. Well done, Wellshot School.
Korte Ingvarsson of Iceland goes in lane 1. Scott Hadley, Swim West Midlands in 2. Niels Aim of Bristol in 3. Leo Johnson of London Disability in 4. Finlay Middleton, Stowmarket goes in 5. Riley Shanahan of Shrewsbury in 6. Eva Rocha of Portugal in 7. Can't quite make out who it is they picked as their favourite, but they're cheering someone down that bottom end. So Wellshot Primary and Caledonia Schools are both still with us.
This is good support. They're even challenging Canada.
The solo whoop comes. Is that it? Is that all you've got, Canada? You've got all you've got left. You've been beaten by a bunch of kids over there. In all fairness, there's only about 7 of the Canadians in the stands at the moment, so they can't compete. Who needs me and you right now, Paul? We've just got these kids cheering these swimmers on. What do they need us for? Finlay Middleton, Stowmarket going well in 5. 46.4 at the last turn. Halfway stage, he will turn in 1:31.97. An entry time of 3:34.81. Waving at themselves now.
Finlay Middleton looking pretty good on the breaststroke. We move into the second half of this race. Scott Hadley trying to catch up. Swim West Midland swimmer in lane number 2. And he might be making a little bit of a move. See if he can get back on level terms with Finlay Middleton. Both these swimmers in the SM8 classification. And in the centre of the pool, 2 lanes across from Scott Hadley, Leo Johnson from London in the SM9 class, maybe just moving into 3rd, but Finlay Middleton still has the lead ahead of Scott Hadley, and it's quite a big lead as he comes into the last 50, and he looks pretty good there, Finlay Middleton, just swimming with the use of one arm there, but a really strong leg kick as he comes down this last 50. I'm not sure if Scott Hadley's going to be able to catch him. It was a big lead that Finlay Middleton had, almost 9 seconds. And Scott Hadley, he is trying to come back, but he's not going to catch Finlay Middleton from Stowmarket in lane number 5. Finlay Middleton now coming into the last 10. Sure he's going to get faster than his entry time, Alan.
Just a little bit, yeah. Middleton coming through. Final few metres then. Round of applause. Finlay Middleton, 3:20.02. Well inside the entry time for the 13-year-old. 350 points. 3:32.40 for Leo Johnson. 3:31.07 for Riley Shanahan. Scott Hadley, 3:33.6. And final swimmer coming in will be Jorge Ingvarsson of Iceland, taking the touch, 3:54.20. Also quicker than the initial entry time. So well done to all the chaps in the first heat. Well done to Wellshot Primary School there, by the way. They sang their way all the way through a 200 IM. Come back in a couple of weeks. I'll challenge you to sing your way through a heat of the 1500 metres. See how you cope with that.
That's not a bad improvement. What was it, 14-second improvement there?
14.
For Finlay Middleton. He had a bigger improvement than his age. He's only 13.
Second per year. Yeah, I like what you've done there.
It's a good start, isn't it?
It's a good start. Well done. Keep your tweets coming. Phil Smith says bye to Mel Marshall today. Mel's sat there chilling out in her seat. Morning, Mel. Phil Smith says bye to Mel Marshall, heading back to run a camp with the amazing Adam Peaty. Thanks for being here with Lewis. That's from Phil Smith. There you go. What Phil doesn't know is you actually got a Twitter handle, and he could copy you into that. But there you go. Phil Smith, learning about Twitter as he goes along. Heat number 2. So heat 2 of these men's 200 metres individual medley. Someone's just come and stood right in front of me. Somebody who should know a lot better than that. Aaron Maddox of Ealing, lane 0. Amadou Cruz in lane 1. William Holland Evans, City of Salford. Second time we've seen him this morning. Matthew Thorne, the Dolphins in lane 3. Alexander Goodman, Portsmouth in 4. Liam Walsh, Newport in 5. Lachlan Macbeth, Highland in 6. Martin Trundle, Horwich in 7. Benjamin Granger, Isle of Man. The flag can fly now. In lane 8. Connor Freeman of the Leicester Penguins goes in 9. So the Isle of Man flag draped over the spectator stands. There's the happy waving man. He's got something to wave at now. Benjamin Granger in lane 8. Is that who you've come with? Just randomly brought a flag. Didn't even know the swimming was on, just came for a walk. That's what I like. And Granger turning in 43.94 for the last turn. We'll turn here just in front of our commentary position, 140.61. The S10 swimmer in first was Aaron Maddox, the SM8 swimmer from Ealing, 125.20. Amadeo Cruz alongside him was in third. The SM11 swimmer from Portugal, 128.49.
That's a good one for the kids to watch here as Amadeo Cruz comes up from Portugal. He's a swimmer with no vision at all. He's totally blind, the man in lane number 1. You'll see he has a tapper at the end of the pool, so the tapper will be telling the swimmer where the end of the pool is. He has no sight at all. He's wearing blacked out goggles, so that's a good example of how these swimmers swim now, ones with totally blind. There's the tapper now at the top end, so Amadeo Cruz knows where that wall is. He's got a couple of strokes to go in, and the tapper did a good job there, I think. Portuguese man in lane number 1. Oh, he's just struggling on that lane ropes a little bit, Alan. Very difficult to get off the lane once you're on there if you can't see where you're going. Aaron Maddox, though, again a swimmer with the use of just one arm in that outside lane in lane number 0 from Ealing. It's going to be another good swim. Entry time of 3:20, and he is coming in a time of 3:01.31. A big improvement. 19 seconds. The improvements get even better. Lachlan Macbeth. That's a good Scottish name for you.
I was going to ask you about that. That's a good Scottish name, Lachlan Macbeth. 470 for the points for Aaron Maddox on that one, Paul. As you say, 19-second improvement on the entry time. You'd like to think the possible PB as well in there somewhere. Amadeo Cruz also coming back inside his entry time as well. 3:26.60 for the entry time, 3:14.93 points-wise. 482 for Alexander Goodman. Seems to be our top points total here in heat number 2. So again, the reminder that all the results are based upon the points you score, and that's worked out on the time that you swim against the records in your classification. So there you go. If you are new to multi-classification, where all of the swimmers swim alongside each other, no matter what class, the results are based on points for your classification against the records within your classification.
We saw a number of different ones there. Good examples there. Swimmer in the outside lane, swimming just with the use of one arm. We had a totally blind swimmer. We've also got swimmers with learning disabilities and other visual impairments too. So, good example. Mixed classes there. They're all competing against each other. That was heat 2. We move on to heat number 3. Conor Lockwood goes in lane 0 from Woking. Dino Sinovic from Croatia in 1. Adam Scott in 2 from Highland. Carlos Tejada Rovira from Spain in lane 3. Matthew Riswer from Staines in lane 4. Kieran Tellum from Exeter in 5. Joshua Monaghan Coombs from Greenwich in lane 6. Isaac Dunning, probably nearly a local swimmer from Inverclyde. He goes in lane 7. Cameron Verncombe from Taunton in lane number 8. And Damien Ng from Maidenhead in lane number 9. Joshua Monaghan-Coombs was first to the turn there in lane number 6, not too far ahead of Carlos Tejada Rivera, Spanish swimmer, in lane number 3. Looks like these two at the head of the field at the moment, but very close for third position. Maybe 4 or 5 swimmers in contention with that one, but it does look like it could be the Spanish swimmer just going to have that lead as they come into the halfway stage. Great to see a lot of countries taking part in these championships. I think we counted 23 countries at the last show. Not sure if we counted the Isle of Man as one of those 23, but you never know. They might want to do that. Also see swimmers from Jersey as well here. The Shetland Islands, of course. The island nations taking part here in Glasgow. Joshua Monaghan-Coombs will lead the rest of the field. He's back into the lead as the breaststroke taking its toll on Carlos Tejada Rivera. And he's been caught up by Matthew Risworth of Staines. Joshua Monaghan-Coombs, though, the SM9 swimmer, number 1 to 10, classes for those with a physical impairment, 11 to 13, those with a visual impairment, and 14, those with an intellectual impairment. Can Joshua Monaghan-Coombs hold on in the closing stages? He is going to be pressed by Matthew Risworth. He's also going to be pressed by Cameron Verncombe. Looks like it could be a little bit tighter than it has been at the end of the breaststroke, but I think it is Joshua Monaghan-Coombs who's going to hang on to that one. His entry time of 3:05 looks like that's going to be beaten. It's going to be a good swim. Joshua Monaghan-Coombs under the 3-minute mark. He'll be pleased with that one. And Matthew Risworth also 3 minutes, 0.84. And Cameron Verncombe 3:01.78.
Yeah, another around about 9 seconds taken off their entry time there. Joshua Monaghan-Coombs, Greenwich Royals, inside the 3-minute mark at 2:56.71. 503 points goes to Dino Sunovcic of Croatia. That's our highest so far in these first 3 heats. Just waiting for the results to be confirmed in heat number 3. The swimmers making their way out. A big thumbs up from Carlos Tejada Rivera of Spain, back to his teammate, so he's happy with that. Coaches down on poolside for Spain. They're smiling, they must be happy too. Do keep your tweets coming into us as well. Zoe Jones has been watching it in Australia, but apparently it's time for bed. I've no concept of time, so certainly don't know what time it is in Australia. I don't even know what time it is here. Celtic Dolphins swim, so well done Matthew Thorne. 2 great swims again today. Be very proud of yourself. Lots of emojis. If you don't know what an emoji is, get Twitter. You'll soon figure out what an emoji is then.
Oh. I'm getting my Twitter education again. You tell me every time I meet you. It doesn't sink in though.
You said about 8 tweets a year, Paul. Right, so a couple of disqualifications to tell you about in heat number 3. Disqualification in lane 8 and lane 7 of heat 3. The official results are now on the scoreboard. We'll move on to heat number 4.
Heat number 4, Anthony Monsbertrand from Spain goes in lane 0. Matthew Phillips from Guildford in lane number 1. Jack Sheffield, City of Salford in 2. Macaulay Ainsley from Gateshead and Wickham in 3. Matthew Trundle from Horwich in lane 4. Tom Piggott from Shrewsbury in lane 5. Michael Jones from Loughborough in 6. Christian Buchanan from East Lothian in 7. David Pedro Carrera from Portugal in lane 8. And Joab Valinsky from Israel in lane number 9. Again, smattering of international swimmers, generally in the outside lane there. UK swimmers in the centre of the pool. Christian Buchanan has been going very well over the course of this event. But he's trailing at the moment on this backstroke leg. It is Macaulay Ainsley who has the lead, I think, at halfway. Oh, that's very lazy turn there for Macaulay Ainsley. Still leads, but he didn't quite hit that one right. And the Portuguese swimmer David Pedro Carreira has gone ahead. David Pedro Carreira, 1:13.06. He's 5 100s behind Macaulay Ainsley, but he's a little bit more energetic with the breaststroke. Macaulay Ainsley now coming down into second place. Lane number 5, Tom Piggott coming back into third position. Also coming through, Matthew Trundle. Very often in the medley events, we see a switch around in the lead when they get onto the different strokes. Big lead though for Carreira from Portugal in lane number 8. He's going very well indeed. His entry time was 2:59.13. He should be on schedule to be ahead of that. Again, a swimmer just using one arm, a very strong leg kick. Lane number 3, Macaulay Ainsley onto the freestyle. Don't think he liked the breaststroke too much, but he seems to like this freestyle a little bit better. And he's coming back on David Pedro Carreira. All to play for third place, but it is the Portuguese swimmer, I think, is just about going to hold on here. Remember, the entry times for these guys, 2:59 and 2:56. It's going to be Portugal who gets it, 2:42.55. Wow, 2 great times from these two. Matthew Trundle is leading 4 swimmers home in lane number 4. He gets in second position. Highest points total will be Michael Jones, I think. 672 points for the Loughborough swimmer in lane 6.
Valinsky, Israel just taking a touch here in 9. 568 points for a 3:11.48. 672 from Michael Jones of Loughborough. Just waiting for the official results to get given to us. We'll let you know. I think the Wellshot School have fell asleep. Wellshot Primary School, what are you doing? Just sat there in the front row, chilling, dancing away to the music. I think Mrs. Blaney's doing the dancing. Disqualification in heat number 4. In lane 3, we now move on to heat 5.
Heat number 5, Thomas Brown from Burnley goes in 0. Andres Bjornstad from Norway in 1. Henry Fletcher from Gloucester in 2. Marco Glatzel from Austria in 3. Jackson Simmons from City of Peterborough in 4. Saul Bressett from Jersey in 6. Jean-Michel Lavillere from Canada goes in lane 7. Arthur Morley in 8 from Fareham. And Daniel Bennett from Gloucester in lane number 9. Well, who's it going to go this time? Saul Bressett from Jersey has a good start. 32.71 for the Jersey swimmer. Thomas Brown going well in the outside lane from Burnley Bobcats. 34.49 at the first turn. Well, it's all kind of very tight there. Thomas Brown going well in the outside lane. The Well Shot School, great support there, guys. Keep that up. Thomas Brown and Jackson Simmons and Saul Bressett. Those three are very, very tight as they come to the halfway stage. Very close indeed. Not much to choose between all of them. It is Saul Bressett first over by 0.2 of a second ahead of Thomas Brown, and Jackson Simmons in third position. Can the likes of Daniel Bennett come back into contention here in lane number 9? It's a very close race, this one, Alan. That's what we like to see.
Certainly is. It's getting the kids cheering again and capturing people's attention here. So, Saul Bressett, Jersey, leading away from Thomas Brown. Brown in the lane closest to the spectator side here, but as we say that, coming through in lane 4, Jackson Simmons, City of Peterborough, 1:18.68 at the last turn. And it looks like it's going to be between Simmons and Bressett as they come to the turn, and they're pretty much neck and neck here. 2:05.09 to 2:05.27. Bressett from Simmons. Into third now is Daniel Bennett of Gloucester out here in lane number 9. So Bressett, Simmons, Bennett, Brown. A real race to the finish. 3 different classifications between the 4 of them, should I say. And it looks like Jackson Simmons is going to win the race. And we'll check out the points as he comes through the final 5. 2:05.27 at the last turn. It's Simmons who takes it. 2:41.84, 448 points. Bressett, though, 521. Daniel Bennett out here in lane 9, 2:47.09, 600 points, 701 points for Canada's Jean-Michel Lavillere. So well done to him. 2:52.42 the time for the Canadian, 701. Bjornstad of Norway, 641. Good stuff.
It was good. We like an exciting race there. Get the crowd going. Top point scorer there as we see it on the scoreboard. 701 points. We're in the 700 point range. Andres Bronstadt in second position at the moment.
The Canadian team love cheering on their swimmers, and when they come first in the race and top the points, it makes them cheer even louder. So they've brought a good atmosphere with them over to Glasgow. The Canadians are happy to be here. They love being here. They're enjoying their time here as well. Even if maybe our pronunciation of their surnames is not always the best. It's close.
But we think it's close.
We think it's close. I asked one of the coaches yesterday. They weren't too unhappy, so.
Still waiting for confirmation of this result. You do see the result on your scoreboard there, but that's unofficial at the moment. Still waiting for confirmation of that one. The result is now confirmed. You'll see that scrolled in points order on the board, and we do have a disqualification. The swimmer in lane 8 in that previous heat has been disqualified. Move on now to the next heat, heat 6. Craig McNeil from Swim Trafford in 0. Benjamin Fulston, one of the Green Army from Nova, in lane 1. Torben Schmidtke from Germany in 2. Mika Kallio from Finland in lane number 3. Eldar Ifendiev from Azerbaijan in 4. Tyler Mrak from Canada in 5. Sasha Kindred, the British record holder, the European record holder too, he goes in lane number 6. Lucas Wilhelm Karl from Germany in 7. Andres Onea in 8. And Gareth Orr in lane number 9. Well, Sasha Kindred, this is a big event for him. First took part in international world championships back in 1994, Alan. How many world champions? Here's a quiz question for you. If he makes it this time, how many world championships will Sasha Kindred have gone to?
All of them.
Correct.
Get in.
It could be 7 world championships if he makes this one. I'll help you out, Al.
Thank you very much. I didn't know the number. I knew it was all of them. Sasha Kindred needs somewhere in the region of 2:45.20. And seeing as his entry time is 2:40.82, you'd like to think that the legend that is Sasha Kindred will be able to push himself inside that time here this morning and not have to worry about a second swim to put any pressure on that second swim. So here, going well. Benjamin Fulston, Nova Centurion, led us at the first 100. Tyler Mrak of Canada is pushing on here in lane number 5. And Mrak will lead as they come to this turn. 1:58.70. Second, Onye of Austria, 2:01.0. Kindred is in 4th, but 2:04.03.
Well, he's in good shape, Sasha Kindred, at the moment. His record that he held, the European record, is 2:40.82. He's around about a second or so down on that, so he should be inside the qualifying standard of 2:45.20. Tyler Mrak is coming home for Canada, the visually impaired swimmer. Sasha Kindred, 1 lane down from him in lane number 6. We shall watch that. Benjamin Fulston finishing very strongly too. We'll have an eye on Sasha Kindred's time, 2:45.20, and Sasha Kindred is inside that in a time of 2:42.82. So if that result is confirmed, Sasha Kindred will be added to the list of those GB swimmers who have gained the A qualification standard. Well, 925 points is the total for Sasha Kindred, the European record holder. Not too far away from his own record time, just a second or so outside that one. But 2:42.82 is a good performance there.
We'll just wait for the official results to come up. For those schools that are sat here, there's a message on Twitter for you. Andy Crowhurst says, on behalf of Katie Crowhurst, the youngest swimmer here at the competition, thank you for cheerleading along to all the swimmers. So thank you to the schools from Andy Crowhurst. There is a disqualification in heat number 6. Benjamin Fulston in lane 1. Disqualification in heat 6. We move on to heat number 7. Keep the cheering going.
Bastien Fontaine from Germany in lane 0. Lewis White from City of Derby in 1. Salguero Galisto from Spain in lane number 2. Conor Morrison from Giri in 3. Luis Paredes Marco from Spain in 4. Adam Ismail Winham from Norway in 5. Matthew Gibson, Derwent Side in lane 6. Callum Pearson from Hastings in lane 7. Adam Melville Cumbernauld in lane 8. And Jamie Warner from Preston in lane number 9. Well, the action taking place in the centre of the pool here. Looks like it is Luis Paredes Marco in lane number 4 from Spain. Again, 3 different classifications in this one. The leader in the SM14 class, those swimmers with a learning disability. We've got the 2 SM9 swimmers in lane 0 and 1, Bastien Fontaine and Lewis White. Mel Marshall looking on attentively at our swimmer there in lane 1. And a couple of SM10s too, Callum Pearson and Jamie Warrener. Good battle at the front though, Alan. Coming back strongly in lane number 3, I think. Lane number 4, sorry. It is Marco. Just about being headed by Adam Ishmael Wenham from Norway.
5 of them just about in a line as they went through the halfway markers here. The 25-metre markers. Just about 5 of them in a line, but as you say, here in lane 5 now, Ishmael Wenham of Norway starts to push to the front. A real battle of S14 swimmers across the middle as they make the turn for home. In 5 is Wenham who leads away. Our computers have decided to have a bit of a mess around. So hopefully we can bring you the results in a moment. Wenham just outside the final 5, pushing hard on his right-hand side. In 6 is Gibson. The touch comes in at 2:27.73. That's 711 points for Ishmael Wenham. Gibson was then in just behind, 2:29.12. Lewis White's swim 2:35.47. That's inside his entry time by a complete second, so exactly 1 second. I presume that's a new personal best for Lewis. So 2:35.47 for him. But 711 points. Ignore the points total in lane 2.
Not sure that time's correct either, Alan.
That was the time. That was the time he touched at that end, not at this end. So
50 metres still left to swim when that time was there. He was pretty competitive there, around about 2:30. But we will have to get that time changed before we can confirm the result.
We'll have to wait for that confirmed. If that, there it is, 2:31.67 for Oscar Salguero Galisteo, 683. That rings a bit more true than 1,586. So you'd take 1,586 in terms of points, wouldn't you? All day, every day. So just wait for that official result to come in. Keep sending those tweets. It's really good reading. Ryan Wakefield, who's watching the stream, says loving the stream. Is there any other sessions on tonight? Every session is covered by the stream. If you're not here for any of the action, maybe you've only got tickets for the first couple of days, you can watch the rest. Go to the British Swimming website, follow the instructions. There is a disqualification in lane 0 of that last heat. Heat number 7 will move on then to heat number 8. 2 more heats to come after this.
Now, heat number 8, some of the real stars, the real fast guys are in now. We have Klaus Steinhauer in lane 0. James Crisp in lane number 1. Sirius Sheffield swimmer, another one of the experienced GB team members. James Crisp been in the GB team back from the mid-90s. Maxime Roussel from Canada in 2. Isaac Buckley Canada in 3. Alec Elliott, Canada in 4. Craig Harris from Swansea in 5. Kahuru Harazawa from Dulwich in 6. Ollie Hind from Nova in lane 7. Aaron Moores, Aquasulis in 8. And Dimitros Michelin-Sakis in lane number 9.
I didn't quite catch that, Paul. Are there any Canadians in this race?
There are 3 swimmers from Canada.
I thought you said Canada at some point. Yeah. Don't know what gave it away. Wasn't quite sure. First will be one of those Canadians. Alec Elliott will turn away from compatriot, Welshman, so I say Craig Harris. His compatriots down in 6th and 10th at the turn. And Harris of Swansea in behind Elliott of Canada as they head down towards the video board end here of this 200 individual medley heat. Third was Oliver Hind. We saw a message from Mum Hind a little bit earlier on. Ollie Hind's qualification time, 2:27.35 for this event. The SM8 qualification time, 2:27.35. That's the A standard time. James Crisp, who swims out of City of Sheffield. Entry time 2:23.52. Qualification time 2:18.51. A real high-class qualification time in that SM9 category.
Ollie Hind had a great year last year, Commonwealth champion, European champion, to add to his world title and his Paralympic title. So a man who's got all the 4 major honours for the GB swim team here. Alec Elliott and Craig Harris fighting it out. Craig Harris is a man who could challenge that qualification standard. Oh, Craig Harris, 2:19.31. Not quite fast enough. He's about a second out of his qualification standard. Ollie Hind, we will check the time for Ollie Hind, and that time of 2:23.94 is inside Oliver Hind's requirement for the qualification standard. So Ollie Hind will be added to the list of qualifiers for the GB team. Another one to add. The result is confirmed. Ollie Hind in the 900-point range, 2:23.94. Craig Harris, well, he was mighty close, wasn't he? 2:19.31, a qualification standard. He was looking for 2:18.14. So he's got about a second to lose tonight, but Craig Harris, we saw him last year, and he was able to qualify for the European Championships team last year, right here in this very pool. But Ollie Hind, well, he's done what he had to do. A good swim, not too far away from his own British and European record too, just about half a second. So a couple of good swims from the GB guys at front. They're the top points earners. Move on now to the next heat, Heat 9.
So we're into a penultimate heat of the men's 200 metres individual medley. Carmen Lee, Hong Kong, goes in lane 0. Thomas Hamer, City of Manchester Aquatics, in 1. Lane 2, representing Hong Kong, Waki Choi. Benjamin Proctor of Nuki in 3. Dimitri Saleh, Azerbaijan, in 4. Vyacheslav Elimiantsev of Russia in 5. Scott Quinn, Warrender, in 6. Urimichi of Canada in 7. Manuel Gonçalves of Portugal in 8. And Ryan Nichols, Enfield, goes in lane 9. Got a nice tweet here, Paul, that just says, "Let's go Iceland." Well, there you go. We'll look out for them in the next race. That's Jon Margier Sverrisson going for Iceland in the next race. Had a good day yesterday. Over 900 points in his first swim. Didn't do too badly at all here as they come to the halfway stages of this. Dimitri Saleh of Azerbaijan leads away from Proctor, and Emeliantsev of Russia in 3rd. Both of those turning inside 105. Dimitri Saleh turning inside 104. So Azerbaijan, Nuki and Russia all on the holiday destinations list.
Absolutely. Scott Quinn was 10th there at the turn. He's already got ahead of 3, 4, 5 people on the breaststroke leg. So expect Scott Quinn to come through very strongly on this leg, as he is doing. He's not going to catch Dmitry Saleh. Melyantsev. It's Azerbaijan and Russia in 1 and 2. Ben Proctor still hanging on to the 3rd position. Ben Proctor, medalist in the major internationals in previous years for GB. Can he pull something out spectacular? He's not going to head Dmitry Saleh, and he is in a private battle with Scott Quinn for 3rd position. Looks like Ben Proctor just with the edge, but it is going to be the Azerbaijani swimmer Dmitry Saleh who will come home in front in a time of 2:15.77, followed home by Melyantsev from Russia, 2:18.15, and it was Scott Quinn just getting the touch ahead of Ben Proctor, both on the 2:20 mark. 2:20.60 for Scott Quinn, 2:20.65 for Ben Proctor. So big points total in that heat there. Alan, Dmitry Saleh, 896 points. Number of the swimmers on the 800 point range.
Some more real top swimming and decent point totals. Ollie Hines 938, still standing strong with that 896 from Saleh, 870 from Melyantsev of Russia.
Thomas Hamer finished pretty strongly there, 2:20.58. Didn't notice him coming through on the freestyle. Got ahead of both Proctor and Scott Quinn, just by fractions, a couple of hundredths of a second. Thomas Hamer.
That's well inside his entry time as well, 2:23.19. So we'll move on to the final heat of this event. This is heat number 10.
The final heat is Aymeric Parmienter of Belgium, Nicholas Guy Turbide from Canada, Adam Reher from Canada, Tonsang Lee, Hong Kong, Benoit Huot from Canada, Jack Thomas from Swansea, Federico Morlacchi from Italy, John Margier Sverrisson, Iceland, Joseph Schenk from Nova, and Mikhail Kulyabin from Russia. Well, real big names here. Jack Thomas, what a day he had yesterday in record-breaking form. Can he challenge the qualification standard here for the SM14 for the GB team? But next to him, well, we heard last night, those of you who were here last night, heard an interview with Benoit Huot, the Paralympic champion in this event, the Canadian who has 19 Paralympic medals to his name, stretching back to 1996. Benoit Huot. Even I was swimming in 1996. Oh.
Yeah, get out of it.
I'll tell you.
Out of it.
I know it's hard to believe, but
there have been 8 Canadians in the 200 IM in the men's event. 8. That's pretty much everyone. So there you go. We've had 7 of those have been in the last 3 heats. So out in force they are, and showing us why they're pretty good at this event. Benoit Huot in 3rd position at the 100 metre stage. Jack Thomas of Swansea, who's got a qualification time to aim for. 2:18.14 is the A standard qualification time. His entry time is 2:17.99, so that is more than achievable. Whether he does it here in the heats, which Paul Noble's giving me the Paul Noble thumb. He's giving me the yes, this is going to happen kind of face. Before anybody goes, we have got one more heat to come for the men's 150 IM in a moment. So schools, Wellshot Primary in Caledonia, stay where you are. There's a little bit more racing to come. Here, going very well is Jack Thomas in the dark cap in lane 5 as they come into the final few metres.
and that will be good enough for Jack Thomas. 2:17.60 for Jack Thomas of Swansea, and that is not only inside the qualification standard, I think it's also inside his own British record. So another British record swim from Jack Thomas from Swansea. What an excellent tournament that he is having this weekend. Absolutely fantastic, Jack Thomas. He's followed home by the world record holder in his classification, Ben Mahuot, 2:17.77 for the Paralympic champion and world record holder. I'm sure we'll see Ben Ma go a little bit faster tonight. And Jack Thomas, again, added to the list of those qualifiers, 2:17.60. And that is a new British record time for Jack Thomas. A great way to finish the 200 metres individual medley. Results of the 200 IM are scrolling through your screen in points order. And our swimmers will be back tonight for the ABC finals. And we'll bring you confirmation of those finalists. They will be posted very shortly. This is where we need the help of the schools in this last event, isn't it, Alan?
Yeah, absolutely. Schools, are you still feeling quite noisy over there? Wellshot Primary is still feeling quite noisy, quite lively. Caledonia, have you got your voices ready? Okay, we need a big favour. We've got one more race to come. We'd like you to cheer from start to finish. 150 IM coming up for the men. Schools, people left in the crowd, we would like you to cheer them along for the entire 150. Wellshot and Caledonia will help show you how it's done. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the men's multi-classification 150 metres individual medley. Make as much noise as you can once the athletes are in the water. So our final event of the morning schedule. If you are leaving us, don't forget, if you can't join us for any of the sessions, you can watch all of the action on the British Swimming YouTube page. So make sure you get yourself sat in front of a computer screen, or maybe you've got one of those smart TVs where you can chill out on the sofa and stick it on the old telly bob and watch it from there. Here, we're going to finish with this 150 metres individual medley. In lane one, as if we couldn't have the last race without a Canadian. In lane one, from Canada, Cam McDonald. Lane 3, from Sweden, Mikael Fredriksson. In lane 4, from Spain, Mikael Luque. In lane 5, from Durham City, Lyndon Longhorn. And in lane 6, from Poland, Matthias Blasiewski. And early leader, Mikael Luque, the S4 category swimmer, just one S3 swimmer in this one. That's Fredriksson of Sweden. Luque, 52.37. Second was Longhorn, 53.12.
Well, this is the swimmers in the SM3 and SM4 classifications. Swimmers with more severe disabilities. A lot of them will be affected in 3 or 4 limbs. And it's the breaststroke champion, Miguel Luque from Spain, really going well here in the centre lane. Lyndon Longhorn, the British record holder, is holding on just about to the Spaniard, but it's going to be a little bit of a lead for Miguel Luque as they go into the final 50 freestyle. Miguel Luque takes the lead, as you would expect, on the breaststroke leg, 152.60. Keep that cheering going. The schools there at that top end. We need your support here. Lyndon Longhorn going over in 2 minutes dead there. And that is a good time for Lyndon Longhorn here. If he can bring this back, we could see a British record in the final event of this morning. The British record held by Lyndon Longhorn at 2:53.85, set exactly 1 year ago here in Glasgow. I think he could be on for that, Alan. We'll watch out for the time for Lyndon Longhorn. Can he catch Miguel Luque from Spain in the closing stages?
So keep cheering then. We need all those kids' voices to cheer along here. Lyndon Longhorn, as Paul was saying, that time 2:53.85. It's a possibility as they come towards the final 5. Luque will take the race here. Let's take a look at the time. Keep your eyes peeled on Longhorn though. Time for Luque 2:48.28. Lyndon Longhorn will touch in 2:49.91. Well inside his British record time then, Paul. That's a fantastic swim from Lyndon Longhorn.
That was a great swim from Lyndon Longhorn, a great breaststroke leg, and a new British record subject to ratification for Lyndon Longhorn from Durham. Well, still swimmers in the water. Miguel Fredriksson now coming back for Sweden, just about getting that lead. You see Mikael Fredriksson affected in all these limbs, really, very short arms there, but he's really using that to great effect, that freestyle, getting a great pull from his very, very small arm here. This is great technique from the Swede. Mikael Fredriksson is coming home. He is in the SM3 class, and he has touched now in a time of 3:44.36. That will earn him 389 points. Blazewski from Poland in lane 6, and the final swimmer to finish this morning.
Guess where he's from?
I'm going to hazard a guess. It could be Cam McDonald from Canada. Let's give him a big hand here as he comes in to the final couple of meters. Cam McDonald from Canada, 4:12.28 for the Canadian.
So as we await the final results to come up on the scoreboard. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a round of applause for all of the swimmers that have took part here on day 2 in the heat session of the British Para Swimming International Meet. No matter where they're from, give them all a round of applause. Thank you very much to the swimmers for cheering along as well. Canadian team, once again, thank you very much to you guys, making a really good atmosphere here in Glasgow. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you to the spectators for being here. Remember, this evening's session, we want you in your chair by about 4:30. Come and join the activities before the swimming gets underway. Caledonia School, thank you very much. Give us a wave. There we go. Well Shot Primary, thank you very much. Thank you to Mrs. Blaney for bringing you. Was the swimming better than the assembly you had before you got here? Yes. Can we also have a round of applause for our officials who have once again done a very wonderful job here this morning at Tollcross. Thank you very much to them. And officials, you may leave the poolside.